why we're here in the first
I will
place.
let her tell that story.
My name is Susan Hill. I have lived in Marquette since 2016. I have been a volunteer with the Maritime Museum since 2017, starting off as a daytime tour guide who didn't believe in ghosts when I first moved here. I enjoyed watching paranormal shows on TV, but nothing had ever happened to me that made me believe ghosts were really a thing. So I moved here from a place with no lighthouses, so I fell immediately in love with Lake Superior and the Marquette Lighthouse, and I just wanted to volunteer and meet people and give back to the community. So I happily did that and learned the history of this amazing building, and then things started happening that I couldn't quite explain, and it eventually escalated to the point where I was ready to quit volunteering. Something touched me in here one day, freaked me right out, and I ended up contacting Uber Paranormal.
Yay! And I am Trish from Uber Paranormal, and I've been doing this for close to 20 years, but when she had me come here and they kind of came up with, hey, do you want to do the paranormal tours here? I was like, yeah. And so I've been doing it, gosh, for 6 years now, something like that.
I think we started in 2018 or 2019, and then COVID kind of hit, and this actually turned out to be really popular during COVID. And even tonight, we've got one going at 7 o'clock. We've been sold out for a few weeks now, and we're looking forward to it. So it's a very active building. We're so excited that you guys have come to hang out with us tonight. Thank you for coming.
Well, of course, and thank you to Trish actually to invite us and let us.
Yeah, I met them at the Bigfoot thing, and I was telling them all about the lighthouse. I'm like, we like lighthouses.
So we're like, anytime we will come. So
Awesome.
yeah, thanks for inviting us.
But yeah.
I know that we've kind of had a conversation. You've taken us through this entire space, which we will obviously show, and we'll be in here and investigating and all of that. And so we've learned a lot of stories. But for purposes of this interview right now, if you could tell us one of the biggest moments that has happened in this lighthouse to either one of you or both of you, if you want to do it individually or together, it's fine.
The story about me being touched actually happened right here, kind of right where we're standing. If I can, I'm just going to step right over here. The front door to the lighthouse that goes out the bottom of the tower is right here. You guys can see there's a 2x4 up top and a 2x4 down below. That's our security system. That's how we secure the door. But at the end of every daytime tour, we leave the tour out beside the lighthouse. The tour guide runs in real quick, closes this door, puts the 2x4s up to secure it, and then trucks back out the back door, meets up with their tour, and goes back down. So it was a hot summer day. And I had come back in here to lock up the door, and I was standing right down here. I'd gone down the 4 steps, and I'd closed the door. I was about to secure it, and all of a sudden it got ice cold. And I mean, it was hot like today. I think, what are we, like 90 degrees today at 5 o'clock it was. And it was like that, no wind, no nothing. And all of a sudden I felt like I was standing in a freezer, and I didn't want to turn around. And I didn't know why. So I'm right down at the bottom of these stairs here. I'm like a deer in the headlights. The hair is now standing up on my arms and my neck, and I'm super uncomfortable, and I don't want to turn around, but I don't know why. And I know I have to just lock this door and get out of here. And all of a sudden I felt, the only way to describe it is an icy finger go down my neck really slow, like that. And I remember exactly what I said. That was, oh, hell no. And I slammed those 2x4s down as fast as I could, and I hauled tail out of here like somebody was chasing me. I was so bloody scared. Somebody had just touched me, and there was nobody behind me, and my poor little, there's no such thing as ghost brain, just couldn't handle it. So I went running down to our Maritime Museum. If you haven't been to the Marquette Maritime Museum, come have a visit. It's beautiful, wonderfully curated. Anyway, our director, I rattled off what had just happened, and she looked at me kind of like I was crazy. That happens once in a while. And I was ready to be done. I went home. The next day, I had a message from a girl named Shannon, who was also a tour guide here for a few years, and the exact same thing happened to her the next day. Now, Shannon is a heavier set gal like myself, so I immediately thought that this ghost had a thing for the plus size ladies. But it turns out we found out, I think about a year later, a medium read the lighthouse, and he told her that he was trying to push us there. So not cool.
Wow.
I was quite offended, and I thought that was very rude. But that incident with the neck touching prompted me to reach out to You Prepare Normal and ask Trish to come in here and verify that it was in fact haunted, and maybe tell us who was haunting it so that we could establish a working relationship where they didn't slam doors and scare the holy heck out of us every chance they got. You know, like it was really hard on the nerves here for a while. Doors would slam, you'd hear what sounded like a crash, like furniture tipping over from the second floor, but there was no furniture up there that could have made that crashing noise. And you'd hear footsteps walking, but you know there's nobody up there because it's not open to the public, and all kinds of stuff. It's really active in here all the time. You guys are going to have a blast tonight. So we're really glad
We
you're here.
already have a feeling we will.
Yes.
And the story about when we tried to spend the night here,
Yeah.
that kind of validated for me that there in fact is a spirit here that likes to like freak us out or try to scare us.
Very strong energy. Yeah. So Trish, once a year, usually will talk me into being up here in the dark. And I don't like being up here in the dark because I feel like those who are here as permanent paranormal residents, I feel like they don't like it when we're up here at night. So I try to respect that and not mess with them because they have made it abundantly clear by scaring me that I'm not welcome in the dark. So this particular night, we stayed after the tour, and I had brought a lawn chair. I was committed. I was here for the long haul. We brought a tripod. We were here in the dark. We were doing Facebook Live, just sitting in what used to be the living room here. And all of a sudden, we heard heavy booted footsteps right through this hallway that we're standing in right now. And the steps went up a few metal stairs. Like you could hear whoever it was walking, boom, 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 down the hallway, boom, 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 on the steps. To which Trish and I kind of just stopped and looked at each other, and I said, well, we have to check that out. I mean, you know, I'm now thinking Blair Witch Project, we're going to get killed. Tears, it's not. I don't want to. I just want to go home. Every paranormal team needs that chicken person that screams all the time, and that's me. I'm here for that. I'm here for Trish. So as we got up and we walked down the hallway past another room to get to here, we heard footsteps escalating, like rushing towards the door, like getting faster, and a breeze blew by us. In the hallway, my heart is now pounding. I am hanging on to Trish like a koala, and it is not good. I shoved Trish into the room right here next to us. And we're kind of just standing together. She's not really saying anything because not too much freaks Trish out. She's pretty bomb-proof. I, on the other hand, have had a cardiac event and I'm ready to leave. But we can hear somebody pacing in this hallway, back and forth footsteps. And the air, the only way to describe it, it was kind of electric. Like it just felt charged, if that makes sense. And I'm leaving. I just have to get by whatever's in the hallway. You know, I'm like, we're leaving. We get it. We know you want us to go, that kind of thing. I'm flicking on lights, telling Trish, we'll get her equipment in the morning. And she's like, I'm not leaving my computer. You know, we're packing up now. She's not really scared, and I'm very nervous. And we got all the gear packed up hastily. We're getting ready to leave. And as we're about to walk out the back door from the basement winch room of this lighthouse, we heard the disembodied laugh of a man, and it was loud and it was clear. And it almost sounded like, it was a very movie evil laugh. And I will hear this in my head until I die. And Trish turns and she says, did you hear? And I shove her out the door. I'm like, yep, slam the door. And I'm always respectful when I arrive and when I leave, you know, hello, and it's thank you, good night. You know, I don't think I said anything except dear God and booked it down the stairs, and swore I was never coming back. I'm done. I quit. I'm never coming back in this lighthouse. He was laughing because he got exactly the reaction he was looking for. Mm-hmm. He's the boss. We're not. It was abundantly clear. 2 days later, I'm at work and I got a phone call from our museum director saying, one of the keeper's grandsons is here. Will you come over and give him a tour? And it was the grandson of the keeper that we believe actively haunts this lighthouse, Keeper Sales. And so there I was, never going back to give Keeper Sales' grandson a tour. And it was okay. It was during the daytime. And that was the very first time, interestingly enough, going upstairs to what used to be Keeper Sales' room. That was the very first time that I'd ever gone up there that I hadn't had the fight or flight uncomfortable feeling, having his grandson with us was a game changer. I felt welcome up there for the first time ever. So yeah, that I would say is probably the craziest experience that we've had. There's been a few, but that was like many
I
crazy
know
things.
they're here, but when that happened, it was like, oh, he like wants to mess with us.
Oh yeah, like the energy, you just felt it escalating through that whole, it was probably a half an hour for all of that to go down, from the footsteps to the wahaha. Yeah, not cool. So I usually am not up here for late night investigations. That's Trish typically. But I'm gonna hang out with you guys tonight for a little while. So
I love that.
until I run
We'll see what.
till I run out screaming. We'll see how long I last.
We'll get that part on video as well.
Yes, please do.
We just have to outrun them.
Yeah, I just have to outrun you. That's
It's true.
surprisingly
We run
fast when I'm scared.
so. Now we have talked that obviously I already said that we've talked a little bit about what goes on here and the people that you believe still reside in this lighthouse. But I would love for you to tell our audience about some of the people that you believe are residing here and just some of the, I guess, the characters.
Absolutely. So this building, the original lighthouse here in Marquette was built in 1853. It was made primarily of wood and it lasted less than 10 years. The lighthouse that we are standing in today was built in 1866. So if you kind of mentally do the math from 1853 on, you've got keepers. Maybe some lasted 6 months, maybe some lasted 5 years, but you've got keepers. Starting in the early 1900s, they had assistant keepers as well. So you've got 3 staff, plus you've got families. Just such a rich tapestry of personalities on this location, plus the Native American population that predated the lighthouse and was around, all through that history as well. There's just so much energy and so many people. So we know there's layers upon layers of spirits here because it is on rock and it is on water, and both of those are catalysts for good paranormal activity. But we have, I say, 3 to 4 major players, if you will, that we think that we interact with on the regular. We've had multiple mediums read the lighthouse. We've had intelligent response through Spirit Box. And did you hear something?
It did. Did you all hear it?
It was like a tapping.
I heard what sounded like either like just a noise like that, or I thought maybe a voice. And actually, when we started, I heard footsteps upstairs.
Yeah, no,
and
I've been listening to that too.
You heard that too? Okay, good. Wasn't just me.
You guys could just talk right to the thing.
Really?
Don't want to be on camera. Come on down.
So the three major players, if you will, that we believe that we interact with. The only recorded death on site for the Marquette Harbor Lighthouse was a man named Keeper Adam Byron Sales, and he was a second assistant keeper. He lived here in the 1940s, and he passed away upstairs in his bedroom. I believe he was 47. He was in his 40s. Forgive me if I'm wrong on that number, but he was very young to pass, and he passed from a cardiac event, is what we were told. And we have had EVP sessions where he responds when questions are asked regarding how he died. He's also given us the name of his sons. He interacts. So he's very, very strong, and he's still working here. So he, doesn't have a lot of time for tourists. I mean, I'm sure that's extremely irritating when you're at work and people keep traipsing through your workplace. And worse than that, once a month, you get these people that come in with all these bells and whistles and want you to stop your work and talk to them and answer questions and knock on a wall and play games. Like, no. But he's very gracious to interact with us when he has time. He's a huge hit with the guests that come on these tours because he is so impressively strong. Nobody slams a door like Keeper Sales. I have been the recipient of that on more than one occasion. And so we are very, very pleased when Keeper Sales has time in his workday to interact with us. We also have Lady Keeper Eliza Truckee, who interacts sometimes. Eliza was with the first lighthouse, the 1850s lighthouse, and her husband Nelson was the keeper here. Eliza took over as acting keeper when Nelson went to fight in the Civil War and defend his country. When Nelson left, Eliza had, I believe it was 4 children under the age of 10, and she was expecting. So I can't imagine wearing the long skirt, muscling up kegs of oil into this light tower, trimming the wick every 2 hours at night for maximum light output. Then when the sun comes up in the morning, you have to draw the curtains around the lens to protect it from the sun's rays. You then come down to the keeper's quarters to start your log keeping because they had to track how much fuel was used, any harbor traffic, any weather related stuff, incidents, that sort of thing. And the kids are up by then and looking for breakfast, and you're hauling water and you're baking bread and you're doing laundry by hand. I can't. I would not have lasted a week in Eliza Truckey's shoes. That lady was
Props,
amazing.
Eliza.
For real, lady. Wow. So she, unreal, this lady, hero, total hero. The U.S. Lighthouse Service like to drop surprise inspections on their keepers, and their rules required that a keeper's logs be perfect, that the keeper's quarters remain clean and free of clutter. She's got little kids. Like, is that even a thing that happens with little kids? But her inspections, the whole time Nelson was gone, were perfect. She developed a very strong bond with the Native American community, and they nicknamed her Mother of the Light, which I just get chills every time I say that. I think it's so cool. She would help mediate disputes between the locals and the Native community. So I think that's just awesome. She's not here all the time. She comes in visitation, we think. And within the last couple of years, we had 4 of her great-great-granddaughters come to visit. And Trish and I had the privilege of giving the Truckee granddaughters a tour. And they told us, they knew a lot more, of course, about the family history than we did, but they believe that the Truckees lost a daughter. A daughter passed away between the ages of 6 and 8 when they were here at the lighthouse. We don't know how she passed. We don't know where she's buried, but she appears on one census, and then a couple years later, she does not. And her name was Genevieve. So the most visibly seen, longest talked about ghost at the Marquette Harbor Lighthouse is a little girl in an old-fashioned dress. I have never seen her. I haven't had the privilege. I have had guests on my tour that have seen her. She's been seen on these tower steps behind us. She's been seen out on the catwalk. She appears in the windows. People have photographed her. So down in the winch room, is that Genevieve Truckee? It lines up in my mind, but anyway, she's the most talked about. I would say in all the history books and whatnot, that's the one they talk about. And then we have a little boy named David who I have a lot of interaction with. He's primarily in the basement in the winch room here. And we were told by a medium that he drowned nearby when he was 2 and attached to the lighthouse because it was the closest building nearby. And he's a happy little soul. He sings a lot. We've got recordings of him singing in the background. And Trish puts out toys quite often, trigger objects and Boo Bear and whatnot. And he will play with all of those. And one night when Trish had her SLS camera here, he even came and held my hand on camera, and he waved to Trish when she asked her to. So if you check out Uber Paranormal on YouTube, you can see footage of that. So that was pretty cool. You guys are hearing noises from behind you, hey?
Gabriel's already on the.
Gabriel's hearing stuff behind him.
Oh, you will in that room.
Yeah, you will. You're gonna hear stuff all over the place.
There's a closet in there. They have been known to slide the door open or even make noise from inside the closet when we have guests in there.
We had 3 young college guys on a tour one night, and they were standing right by that closet door, and all of a sudden it was bang, bang, bang from inside the closet, and those 3 guys were like on me like a koala. Whew, they were scared. That really lit them up quick. And then in the basement, we were doing I think it was an app session with your Necrophonic app, and we asked if they could tell us the name of this guy, one of these 3 guys, and immediately we got the word asshole. And we laughed. We'd never had any profanity from any paranormal residents here. And we were like, what? And his friends were killing themselves laughing, and they're like, that's right. And they were an interesting crew. But yeah.
I want to just ask one quick, actually I want to do 2 quick questions to kind of finish this out. One is going to be, I know that you've given us all of the details of the places, of the people, but we are about to do an investigation with you, and I just want to know, what can we look forward to? What do you think we should prepare ourselves for tonight's investigation?
To me, mostly disembodied voices and footsteps, because we seem to get that quite a bit.
We've got a big thunderstorm rolling in right now. I think you guys are going to have a really active evening here. I think our tour is going to be pretty. Oh, cue the rolling thunder.
Yeah.
No, we couldn't have done that any better.
Boom. I don't want to get wet going to get the tour. That's my big concern. Maybe we're going to be really moist. That's not good. I think you guys are going to have an active night. Lots of footsteps. I mean, Keeper Sales is going to be watching that weather. You know,
Yep.
there's probably ships coming in that we don't know about. He's watching. He's going to be making sure the light
We may even
is,
hear his voice. We may hear him working upstairs.
we may. Yeah, we'll try to stay out of his way tonight and not bother him too much. These days, the 2 breakwater lights for Marquette Upper and Lower Harbor are fully automated and powered by the Coast Guard. And the foghorns are located in those lights now. Whereas in Keeper Sales time, there was actually a foghorn building out at the end of the catwalk here, and the foghorns were located there. So these days, he doesn't have to go trucking out there to do anything with those, but I'm sure he's still keeping an eye on things, making sure that light is flashing every 10.5 seconds, the way it is supposed to. So we actually had it stay on. One tour last year, the light was just on solid, and we had to call the Coast Guard to come and fix the light. So that was weird. Keeper Sales must have had a night off. It mustn't have been his shift, because if he was here, that certainly would not have happened. Yes. So I think you guys are going to have a really good time tonight. I think it'll be very active. If you choose to stay after dark, you do so at your own peril.
All right, and then we do know, and as you've told the people who live here, that a lot of the tours and stuff that you do go to funding, going right back into this place.
Absolutely.
So could you just quickly tell us how important it is for people to do tours, to donate, to do anything to help out?
With pleasure.
This beautiful lighthouse.
The Marquette Maritime Museum and Lighthouse are completely volunteer driven. So we don't have fancy grant money, anything like that typically. We are very lucky to receive the odd grant. Actually, our Maritime Museum roof was just partially, we received a grant for that. And we are very thankful for that donation. But half of the price of daytime tickets, paranormal tour tickets and whatnot go towards upkeeping this beautiful lighthouse. In the last couple of years, we've been able to completely restore the second floor, ceiling, plaster, drywall, the floors. It's gorgeous. And now it's open to the public. So we're just thrilled that people can go up and get that view from the second floor. The Marquette Maritime Museum has a great website. They have a very cool online gift shop. For those that can't get here in person, you can still grab a Paranormal Lighthouse Tour t-shirt. They're very soft. I love that. And there's more thunder, cue. But yeah, we are strictly volunteer driven, so donations are always accepted and greatly appreciated, because this is a wonderful building and such a rich history. And it's Trisha's and my great pleasure to volunteer to help keep that history alive. So
Well, thank you both for doing that.
thank you
It's
guys.
a beautiful building. It
Yes,
really,
it is.
really, really is. So we came here and we're like, wow, what a beautiful place.
It's iconic, with the heartthrob red that was painted in the 1960s, the bright red, and the addition of the second story on the Marquette Lighthouse. There's no other lighthouse exactly like it. It is unique on the Great Lakes. So you'll see it featured on murals in town, on all the tourism stuff.
They even
It's an
have one
icon.
in Texas Roadhouse.
Yes, they even have it in Texas Roadhouse. It is, it's, people see it and they know that's the Marquette Lighthouse. So it's an icon.
Yep.
It's fabulous.
Well, I want to thank you. I'm sure that people have an interesting evening.
I
So
think
thank
I
you
think
so
with the
much.
storm coming in, I think it's going to wrap things up,
Uh-huh.
and y'all are going to.
I can feel
Have
it.
a good
Actually,
time.
I've had chills a couple times just talking to you guys. Like, stuff's moving around us already. So
Well, he and I have both been hearing those footsteps,
Yeah.
movement.
yeah, buckle up. They're going to be wondering what this thing is on the tripod, I'm sure too,
Yeah.
because this
We'll
isn't
have
something
other
that we
fun
use.
stuff that they can
Yeah.
look at, so it'd be fun.
They're gonna be
New
playing
fun
with it.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Thank you.
guys. It was a pleasure.